Mr. President, before I speak, I also want to extend my appreciation to the senator from Delaware. I rise today with my friend and colleague from Minnesota, Senator Klobuchar, to talk briefly about the bill that we've introduced, the Alzheimer's Caregiver Support Act, that would provide training and support services for the families and caregivers of people living with Alzheimer's and other dementias. Mr. President, as many caregivers can attest, Alzheimer's is a devastating disease that exacts a tremendous personal and economic toll on individuals, families, and our healthcare system. It is, for example, our nation's most costly disease. It is one that affects more than 5.4 million Americans, including 37,000 Mainers living with Alzheimer's today. And that number is soaring as our overall population grows older and lives longer. We've done a good job last year and this year in increasing the investment in biomedical research that someday will lead to effective treatments, a means of prevention, or even a cure for Alzheimer's. But often forgotten when we discuss this disease are the caregivers. There are many families across this nation who know all too well the compassion, commitment, and endurance that it takes to be a caregiver of a loved one with Alzheimer's disease. When I was in Maine recently, I saw an 89-year-old woman taking care of her 90-year-old husband with Alzheimer's. I met a woman in her 50s who, with her sisters, was juggling care of their mother along with demanding work schedules. I discussed with an elderly husband his own health problems as he tries to cope with taking care of his wife's dementia. Most important, these caregivers allow many with Alzheimer's to remain in the safety and the comfort of their own homes. Last year, caregivers of people living with Alzheimer's shouldered $10.2 billion in healthcare costs related to the physical and emotional effects of caregiving. And that's why the bill that Senator Klobuchar and I have introduced is so important. It would help us do more to care for our caregivers. It would award grants to public and nonprofit organizations like area agencies on aging and senior centers to expand training and support services for caregivers of people living with Alzheimer's. Mr. President, it's been estimated that nearly 1 out of 2 of the baby boomer generation, our generation, reaching 85, will develop Alzheimer's if we are not successful with biomedical research. As a result, chances are that members of our generation will either be spending their golden years with Alzheimer's or caring for someone who has it. It is therefore imperative that we give our family caregivers the support that they need to provide high-quality care. Our legislation has been endorsed by the Alzheimer's Association, the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, and Us Against Alzheimer's, and I urge all of our colleagues to support it. Mr. President, I would ask unanimous consent that my full statement be inserted in the record as if read.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr.